Hey everyone, welcome to Monday Night Live. I am super excited to share with you guys tonight. So if you saw the graphic, you saw that the title on the graphic after Monday Night Live was Stuck is a Choice. And I had a friend text me and say, ouch, but so good. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight is stuck, what that is and how you get through it. This kind of came about because last month I started getting some messages asking what I was doing to create momentum on my team, like what was going on. And I really didn't have an answer that was like, new, I guess. There was nothing new for me to tell people. So nothing you're going to hear tonight is going to be like, oh, a new thought. It's just, well, you'll see. So let me kind of explain a bit about my journey with Plexus so far. So if you've been around, you know that I am a senior Ruby, which is awesome. It is the rank right underneath Emerald. So that's exciting. Like Alexis is coming, a trip to Mexico is coming. Super exciting to be a senior Ruby. It's actually what I needed to be able to stay home. Actually, before I hit senior Ruby, I quit my job as a teacher. I walked away, just believing that God had placed this opportunity in my life, and this was what was going to provide for my family. So I double ranked the month I went senior Ruby. It was in June. I started the month as a senior gold and I ended it as a senior Ruby, which was a huge deal. It's a big deal. Anytime you double rank, there's lots of work that goes into that, lots of hours that you're putting in. So it was an adrenaline rush. It felt really good. I felt on top of the world, and I was so excited that Emerald was coming next. That was in June of 2020. So now we are in March of 2023. So for 2 years, almost 3 years, I have been a senior Ruby ambassador. I've been stuck. I have used that word a lot. And the truth is I chose to be stuck. Now I may not have realized it at certain times, but I chose it every day. And I don't know if that's good news to you or bad news that you are in control of your stuckness, but you are in control. So to me, it's good news that you're in control of not being stuck because it starts with a choice. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be fun every single day. It's going to be hard. And there's going to be days you're just not going to want to, but you have to make the choice. First you have to think, is it harder being stuck or is it harder to not move forward? Like, which is going to be harder? And it boils down to mindset. So if you feel stuck, you need to start by asking yourself some questions. First of all, ask, why am I stuck? What is keeping me from moving forward is the second question. What specific things are keeping me from moving forward? And then you need to ask yourself, why am I not doing those things? So if you know what's preventing you from moving forward, but you're not doing them, there's something behind that. And so you're going to have to work through some mindset. You're going to have to work through some thoughts. So you're going to have to get with an upline, or you can do thought models. If you've watched module 1 for our branding class that's coming up, it talks about thought models. So go back and do that. Okay, so a story, and then I'm going to get started on some specific steps. Okay, so this process for me really started at Ruby Retreat this past year. I believe it was in October. Yes, Ruby Retreat was in October. I think so. Okay, so it was in October, so like 5-6 months ago. We were sitting down. Ruby Retreat is amazing. You get to go if you're Ruby or senior Ruby, and it's specific leadership training for things that our team I mean, it's just amazing. So you need to get there, become a Ruby, get there. But we were sitting in the room and we had to do this exercise. We broke out into small groups where we answered questions about ourselves and talked about like our characteristics. I have it right here. The question was qualities, skills, or traits that I have. And then it was going to go down to ask how I could use those as an asset, and what that impact would look like. And y'all, I couldn't answer it. I sat there with blank pages in our small groups, everybody's writing. And a sweet friend who was actually a guest looked over and was like, why haven't you written anything down, Rachel? And I'm like, well, I got lots of characteristics, but I can't use any of them for leadership. Like none of them's going to help me here. Like, what is dancing help? What is fun help? So I started going down these things and she was like, I can't even like believe that you're saying these things. And she started listing off the qualities that she saw in me and how I could use those as a leader. And so I wrote them down and then we went back into the room and Fallon is our like diamond upline, like the one above Brittany. So she's Brittany's sponsor. Fallon was telling her story and I sat there in the room and y'all, I mean, it was, I hate using this term, but it was like a God moment. I was literally sitting in this room thinking about the conversation I had just had with this friend. And it was like, God asked me, why not you? Like, why not you? I made you. And so I was sitting there and I was thinking, well, why not me? Like, why can't I be a leader of a massive team of women who want more? Because that's what I desire. I desire to lead a huge group of women who are making massive impact and want even more. Why wouldn't somebody want to follow me? I mean, I'm super freaking fun. So like, why wouldn't somebody want to follow me with all these characteristics that my friend listed off? And that's kind of when I made a decision that I was enough. I went back to the Bible. I was thinking of scripture and thought, okay, God knew he was making me like this in my mother's womb before anybody else knew about me. This is scriptural. God was knitting me together in my mother's womb. I am fearfully and wonderfully made like this. So obviously he gave me these characteristics for a reason. So then it's really neat. If you haven't gone back and watched the last Ruby retreat session, I could tell you all about it, but you need to go watch it. It's amazing. Christina prayed, Angela sang, it was amazing. So all that to say, that was the moment I made a decision. And that is the first step. If you want to move forward, if you're saying I'm stuck, then there has to be a point where you decide this is it. Like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to do blank. I'm going to figure it out. All right. So here's your steps. Okay. First step, decision making. You're making a decision. Am I going to do this? No matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how bad I embarrass myself or whatever you're afraid you're going to do, no matter how many times I do that, am I going to continue to choose to move forward? So you make that decision. That's step one. Not anything new. We've heard this before, right? Okay, step two, and I actually need to move my notes around because I decided right before this that I was going to flip-flop some things. So step two is belief. And you shouldn't be surprised here either. Obviously, belief is connected to the results in your business. We know that our business is 80% mindset, 20% skill set. The mistake I ran into was I kept waiting for belief. I was waiting to look a certain way when I led, to feel like I could do this. I was waiting for all these feelings to happen and they weren't happening. And so I wasn't taking action. Well, the thing is, when you're not taking action, does your business move forward? No, like you have to take action. So consistent action breeds results, which breed belief in yourself. Why? Because competence builds confidence. So until you're taking action and messing up and having to redo things and having to try again, but before you're taking action, you're not going to build any competence, which will not build any confidence, which is not going to build any results. So it's like a domino effect. Until you're willing to take the first step of action, nothing else is going to happen. So therefore your belief doesn't grow. So it's like a cycle, okay? Like a life cycle of belief. Action is first in that. Okay, so if you're waiting to feel confident and believe in yourself, you're not going to. You have to do it scared, whatever it is. Fill in the it with the things that are going to move your business forward, and do it knowing you're going to fail, and it's okay. Like, you're going to fail, you're going to learn from it, you're going to try again. So today I was listening to module 1 and of our branding class coming up. And one of the things that dawned on me, I was like, okay, but how did I build my belief? Like, because we say you need belief in 3 things, right? You need it in yourself, you need it in these products, you need it in network marketing. So I know how to build my belief in network marketing. I go research it. I know how to build my belief in the products. Go research it, right? Go to the gut health page, go read testimonies. So how do I build my belief in myself? It's the same thing. You go research yourself, which sounds silly, but you're going to go learn about you. You're going to actually become a student of yourself, which is what I did. I didn't realize that's what I was doing, but that's what I did. So I retook the Enneagram test several months ago, and I printed out all the results, and I started going through and highlighting. I just happen to have a highlighter here. That was total coincidence, but I started going through and highlighting all my strengths. Like, because I'm real good. I know what my weaknesses are. I can tell you my weaknesses, but I needed to know my strengths. So I started going through and highlighting my strengths. Then I took the Strength Finders test. I bought the book and I took the test, and I went in and read about my strengths. And I was like, oh my gosh, I do that. Like, this is talking about me. So what's really neat when you do this is you start to like yourself. Like, you're reading about yourself and you're like, oh, I'm kind of cool. Like, I'm kind of a neat person. So you're studying yourself. And then after you learn about yourself, you can start taking action inside of your strengths, and it's just going to get better. Like, each time you do it, it's going to get better. Your confidence is going to rise. Your belief in yourself is going to rise. So I want to go over this pattern one more time. Okay, here's the pattern. You take action, and then you're going to get feedback. So this is crucial, because if you do want to get better, I mean, you do have to have somebody tell you, okay, this might be better than this, or like, how could we change this? So you're taking action, you're getting feedback from your upline. You're going to reflect and make changes, and you're going to go back and try again. And then you're going to repeat. You're going to go back and take action again. You're going to get feedback again. You're going to reflect and make changes, and then you're going to try again. And you're doing this over and over. Y'all, I'm still in this process. I'm still recording things. I'm still sending screenshots. I'm still doing all this and getting feedback and going through this cycle. It's ongoing. So some ways to get feedback is to send screenshots. Okay. That's something I do probably daily. You can send recordings of your welcome calls or a vision casting call, and your upline will watch it and they'll give you feedback. You can ask questions a lot. Ask a lot of questions. One of the traits of highly successful people is that they're not in the background letting things happen to them. They're asking questions and learning. So, like, ask your upline lots of questions. You are taking, I don't want to say responsibility. What's the word I'm looking for? Ownership. There we go. You're taking ownership and bringing your upline, what you're learning, like your takeaways, and not just these are my takeaways, but you're saying, okay, so I listened to this and this is what I think I should do based off of this. And you're getting feedback. You're having conversations that way too. Okay, so those are feedback ways. So belief was the second step. The third step, I may get these numbers wrong, y'all, because they're way out of order now in my notes because I decided to do this last minute. The third step or thing is consistency. Okay, but it's got to be consistency in the right action, because I have always been consistent. I've done IPA every day since I started working the business with Plexus. Okay, that's never been an issue. And IPA is great, but it's not the only thing you have to be consistent in. Okay, you have to be consistent in the right actions. So the right things that are going to move your business forward. So IPA, new contacts and follow-ups, yes. If you want massive results, here's the thing. If you want massive results, it's going to look like massive action. Like if you want to achieve a big goal, you're going to have to take big action. I'm not going to throw a number out because everybody's numbers look different, but just know if you're not getting the results you want now with the numbers that you're putting out or were putting out 30 days ago. Okay, so maybe you have increased them. It's going to take some time too, but if you're not liking your results and you've analyzed things, then you probably need to do more. And I had to do more. So IPA, social media is a must. Stories and your wall, like you need to be in people's, why can I not think of words tonight? You need to be in their feed. There we go. All right. Business conversations, they're a must. So I started doing this, it really was about 6 months ago, business conversations, and I would do 3 a day. It's actually in dough for me. It's a task every day that I have to send out 3 business conversations before the end of the day. Right now I'm doing more than that, but again, I want big results. So I'm doing big action. But it is a part of my daily activities are sending business conversations because I need to get into conversations. So if I'm not sending messages, I'm not going to get conversations going. I do lots of phone calls. I started doing lots of Zooms. I started meeting up in person. All of those things are very uncomfortable to me. And then growth. This is a really big one. I have done a lot of growth over the last 6 months, and it's personal growth, but it's also in skill set. It started for me, I wanted to recruit more, so I became a student of recruiting again 3 years in, and I went back and had to be a student of recruiting again because I wanted different results. And currently I'm still a student in duplication. Like I'm watching duplication videos and trying new things. And so become a student, do the growth, whether it's mindset, personal growth, or a skill set growth, you need to be doing growth, but you've got to focus on areas that you need. So again, if it's recruiting, focus on recruiting. If it's duplication, focus on that. If it's retention, focus on that. Okay, last thing I'm going to say about consistency, because these are all areas we need to be consistent in, is it's not just about consistency. You're going to have to give it time. Just like we tell our product users after 30 days, if they're not seeing the results that we want, what do we tell them? Like, there's not enough time. Like, it's not enough time. After 60 days, if there's still some things they want to see, what do we tell them? Well, we start asking questions. First of all, how much water are you drinking? Have you changed your diet? XYZ, we're asking questions, right? But we're not calling it quits. We're not telling them it's not going to work for them. Absolutely not. It's the same thing here. You can't make a change and in a week think, well, I didn't get 5 joins this week, so that's not working, or I didn't develop a silver from that one welcome call, so that's not working. That's not how it works. You're gonna have to give this stuff time. I've been doing these things consistently for 6 months. And last month I started seeing big results from it. So it takes time. All right. Hold on. I got to skip that. I think this is number 4. I think maybe possibly 4. Shannon says yes. So it's 4. Okay. Focus. This is really hard for me because I have so much energy. What you guys see on the outside is literally happening on the inside. Okay. Like if I'm just doing this is my brain. Like it's all over the place. So this is hard for me, but I can do it. And so I was thinking of like times when I really had to focus. And one time when it was really hard for me was when I was training. I've trained for a half marathon a couple of times now. And both times I did it, I had to focus on very specific things. Okay. My diet was one of them. How I was running. I had like, times where I ran, things like that. Okay. So I had specific things to focus on. Your business is the same way. I think Brittany has been calling them key factors. Okay. And you have key factors that you have to focus on. And there are those things that you need to be doing consistently. So just like I couldn't run occasionally or like eat crap and then go try to run 6 miles. Like it doesn't work. I tried it once or twice and I thought I was going to throw up. So there are certain things you have to focus on and you have to focus on consistently to get better and to move your business forward. So here's what that looks like for me. Okay. So I want you guys to know that ahead of time, it is going to feel like sacrifice. Okay. It's going to feel like you're giving things up. You have to, because, well, you'll see. Okay. So over the past 6 months, these are some things I've started to do so that I can focus more. I say no to some really good things, so that I can say yes to some really great things later. Okay. So this is no temporarily. It's not no forever. It's no right now because I need to focus on some things. So like I don't take my kids to the park every day. I don't I don't go inside of grocery stores very often ever anymore. I only cook 3 times a week. I miss putting my kids to bed more than just nights that we have calls, because I have things I have to get done. So those all feel like a sacrifice to me, but again, it's short term and it's going to be really, really worth it. Like really, really worth it. Okay. I also, y'all, we didn't go on a spring break trip this year, our annual trip to Orlando to see family. We didn't do it. And that's because when I go down there, I can't focus on things I need to focus on to move forward. And so for this year, I had to say no to that. And it's okay. Guess what? My kids are okay. Like they're okay. They got through the initial, we're not going to Aunt Jen's, and they're okay. We had a blast today. There's sidewalk chalk all over my sidewalk. They did all the things. My house is a wreck. They had fun today. It's going to be okay. All right. Boundaries. You have to start setting boundaries with people. I set boundaries with my kids. I just set them with my husband, my family, my friends, and it's hard. I like to please people. And sometimes I feel like I'm letting them down, but I'm letting my family down if I don't put boundaries in place. So I had to ask my husband, I had to have a conversation with him. I had to tell him, like, this is why I need to do this. And this is what this is going to do for us. If you'll let me have this time, I can do this for us. So he puts the kids to bed a lot of nights. He cleans dishes a lot more now. He does all kinds of things. I set timers for my son because he's 3. So I've had to use timers to set boundaries for him because he doesn't understand time and things like that. Same thing with my daughter. She's old enough. I had a conversation with her. I had to get buy-in from the people I love, tell them why I'm doing this, tell them mommy's working more hours and they're okay with it, which leads to what my next thing was, and that's buy-in. If you'll tell your people what you're doing and why you're doing it, you'll get their buy-in. And listen, it doesn't mean they're going to be happy about it all the time. I don't think Mark loves doing dishes. And I think sometimes when I hear them out there running around acting a straight nut, I think he gets a little aggravated sometimes with the noise. But guess what? It doesn't bother me. Like, it's gonna be okay. Because it's worth it. And I have their buy-in. So everybody's making little sacrifices, and structure is the last thing here. You're going to have to put some structure in your life. Like, one of the things I love about being home when I quit my job was I was like, oh, I'm my own boss. I do what I want to do. That's not going to work. You're going to have some structure. You're going to have schedules. You're going to have to time block. You're going to have to do the things. Okay. So I think this is 5 or 6. I don't know. Fail forward. I've said this, but fail forward, guys. Like, I'm failing a lot more than I was because I'm doing a lot more things. So you're going to fail a lot. I have planned sip and sees and nobody showed up. I've done chat events and nobody responded to anything in the chat. And I'm like, okay, I guess that was a dud. I've done several business opportunity events for my team, and we would have like one person show up. So it's just us and the team, and I just did it anyways. I'm like, well, here we go. Y'all listen up. So I've gotten lots of no's from people, and I just keep trying it again. So just keep failing and being okay with it. It's okay. All right. Last thing I'm going to leave you with, and then I'm done. Ownership. And if I could drive anything home, this is what it'd be, because literally the only person stopping you from moving forward is yourself. It doesn't matter how available your upline is. It doesn't matter what your team is doing or not doing. It doesn't matter. This is going to sound awful. It doesn't matter how sick you've gotten. It doesn't matter that your husband's deployed. It doesn't matter that schedules have changed. Those aren't the things preventing you from moving forward. You are. You are exactly where you're supposed to be. I have been a senior Ruby for almost 3 years because that's what I earned. Okay. And that is a hard pill to swallow. But when you take ownership of it, there's power in that. Like, there's power in knowing, okay, I am here because this is what I've earned. This is what I've deserved based off of the value I've added to my company. So what can I do to add more value? What can I do to move forward? Once you take ownership of your business, you will be able to move forward. And you're going to take ownership in all 4 pillars. No excuses. All 4 pillars. So recruiting, you're going to take ownership in retention. You're going to take ownership in duplication. You're going to take ownership in leadership. Every single area in your business, you have to own because it's your business. And then you're going to show ownership by taking action. So that is it. Those are the things I have been doing. There's not a magic pill. There's not a magic do this event and this will happen. None of that. It's literally the things we've been told by our leaders the whole time I've been around. Nothing new. It's just I started doing the things. So go do the things. And that's all I have for you.